Alright guys, it's time to finally kick off the Undertale Q&A. And as always, in case I did not answer someone's question, it was either marked as spam or it didn't show up at all on the list. So I do apologize for that. Also, if the mic sounds a little weird, that's because the fan is going because it gets super hot in this room, and yeah. Anyway, let's kick things off with Omnitron12345, who asks, who is your absolute favorite character? That's a tough one. I really dig all the characters, but I would have to say Sans. Yeah, I know it's a generic question, but Sans is such an awesome character. So, yeah, Sans. Second question. A young Ash Williams ends up in the underground. How long before he ends up screwing everyone over? I'd say about 5 minutes tops. Third question. Undyne watches One Punch Man and given her ideas about what anime actually is, what insanity comes from that? She starts doing 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 everything in her exercise training until she passes out, and Alphys is like, oh lord. Anyway, so moving right along to Billy McCary, who asks, Sans, Azrael, Flowey, Toriel, and meet the following: Freddy, Main 6, Avengers, Justice League, Power Rangers, Warriors, Chucky, Xenomorphs, Toffee. Yeah, you just threw everything in the kitchen, but the kitchen sink in here, right? Basically a lot of characters, and it would probably go the route of, holy shit, who are all these people doing in the underground, and why are they here? Second question. Would there be a Undertale Power Rangers crossover? Doubtful, but I don't even know how you would do that, honestly. Honestly, I don't know how you could do that. What would happen if Azrael Dreamer gets beaten up by the Main 6, the Power Rangers, Fantastic Four, Justice League, a lot of heroes, basically? Yeah, Azrael would just get his ass kicked. That would be the underlying plot. Azrael just gets his ass kicked. There you go. Thank you for those questions, Billy. Moving on now to Grodhang, so asks, if the Undertale cast met the Crystal Gems, what do you think, who do you think would get along with who? I think Toriel would probably get along with Pearl. Sans and Amethyst, duh. Sans and Amethyst. Well, actually, now that I think about it, Undyne would probably be hanging out with Pearl, and so would Alphys with Peridot. Lapis with maybe... Actually, I think the two that would really hang out with Pearl are Undyne and Papyrus, and while Sans would be rocking out with Amethyst. Garnet probably with Toriel. Yeah, now that I think about it, Garnet with Toriel. Frisk would probably be hanging out with, yeah, Frisk would probably be hanging out with, Steven. I don't know who would be hanging out with Lapis, honestly, but Alphys and Peridot doing science stuff would be awesome to see. Second question. Do you think that Undertale has a shot of appearing in a crossover verse that you guys make? Yeah, for those wondering what Grodhanks is talking about, I work with my friend Craig Simon on a fanfiction site called Crossover Universe, and it basically is one big universe that's kind of took the idea of Marvel's Secret Wars and all different Marvel, but we did it first. We've just been building on this for about 2 years. So, yeah, long story, I'm doing a series on there called Mystery Inc. Mystery Inc. The Next Generation, which has a bunch of assortment of characters from different shows on there, being the new Mystery Inc. And to your question, I say, maybe, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, pacifist, neutral, or genocide? I always say pacifist or neutral at best. I never go genocide, because my life is shitty enough as it is. I don't need I always go for the good endings. I always try to be the good guy whenever I get into a certain situation where I have to choose having a good ending. And, yeah, I always pick the good one, because I was like, never really turns out well when you go bad, so... yeah, pacifist, neutral at best. So, thank you for those questions, Grod. Moving on now to Andrew Schaefer, who asks, what's your favorite non-boss monster? I'd have to say Nice Cream Man. No, not Nice Cream Man. Burger Pants. Yeah, Burger Pants, because I would so be like that at a job. At a fast food restaurant job, I mean. Excuse me. What's your favorite boss? I'd have to say my favorite boss is probably... I would say Sans, Genocide Sans, or possibly Mettaton. Either one of those two. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't like those because they tear your hair out. Trust me, they're bad, but yeah, I think the one I had the most trouble was Mega Flowey, and Asgore was insane. Do you think that Sans could win against Galactus, the Devourer of Planets, in a one-on-one fight? No. The Devourer of Worlds, the guy who's literally connected to the galaxy, it's the universe itself. No, thank you. Anyway, moving on now. So next up, thank you for those questions, Andrew. Next up is Linerman0245, who asks, which characters do you think are skilled enough to survive a pun-off with Sans? Probably Luann Loud from, yeah, Luann from, The Loud House, probably. She'd probably be the only one who could go pun for pun with Sans. Anyway, second question. What would happen if Ed from Ed, Edd, and Eddy ever tagged along with Sans? Chaos or wacky fun? Wacky shenanigans everywhere. What do you think made Chara so hateful to humanity? Probably what happened with Azrael. I would have to say something with, what happened to Azrael and thus creating Flowey. I'd say that would probably be the case. So moving on, thank you for those questions, Linerman. Moving on now to Ian Green, who asks, what would happen if Flowey met King Ghidorah? Ghidorah would just step on him. Alright, second question. What would happen if Toriel raised Shinji from Evangelion? Shinji would probably be less of a bitch. Just throwing that out there. Third question. If Undertale was an anime movie, what studio would be best suited for it? I know this is going to sound really cliche, but I would say Studio Ghibli. Yeah, Ghibli would probably be the best one. They're really good at telling these kind of... And when you really think about it, Undertale is kind of like a... It is very much like a Hayao Miyazaki story. It does feel like something Hayao Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli in general would have done. So it does. So I feel like that would be the best place. And I feel like that would be the best home for it. And I know that's the real... Oh, Studio Ghibli. Why? Yeah, get them. But yeah, that just Undertale itself just feels like a classic Hayao Miyazaki story. So it wouldn't be that it wouldn't be that hard, really. Again, I know it's a cliche answer, but it does make sense when you really think about it. All right. Thank you for those questions, Ian Green. Moving on now to Cody Lemerix. Hope I'm saying that last name right. Who asks, Sans meets Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. What happens? Bill's gonna have a bad time. Second question. Which Undertale boss was hard? I already answered this one. Yeah, it was neither of those. It was probably, well, Photoshop Flowey. They're not Mega Flowey, Photoshop Flowey. Yeah, like I said. But yeah, I already answered that question. Do you think Chara is a good person or bad person? I think it's all in perspective, really, because, yeah, like I said, I think what happened to Azrael really broke her mentally, and... Yeah, but on the same side, she's a total monster, so it's really up in the air. So I think it's all depending on what your perspective is. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Cody. Moving on now to Andrew Varney, who asks, what kind of shenanigans occur if Sans and Papyrus ever met Brooke, One Piece, Lewis from Mystery Skulls, and the Horned King from the Black Cauldron? Well, considering I don't watch, I don't know what Mystery Skulls is, and I don't watch One Piece, I'm kind of left with one other character in here. And the Horned King would probably kick their asses out of his castle. Anyway. Second question. Undying meets the following characters. Jasper, Abridged Popo, Goku, Super Saiyan Blue, the Colossal Titan, Yoda, Tommy Oliver, and John Cena. John Cena she'd probably throw out a window. Tommy she'd want to spar with. Yoda she'd want to be trained by. She'd want to fight the Colossal Titan. Idolize Goku. Abridged Popo shit her pants. And Jasper she'd want to fight one-on-one. So there you go. So, third question. Undertale, Phineas and Ferb crossover. How might that go down? Phineas and Ferb and Undertale crossing over. How exactly would that go? Maybe have it that, Isabella accidentally falls down into the underground and the rest of the kids go down and try to find her. I don't know. And shenanigans ensue and she gets taken in by Isabella gets taken in by Toriel. Something like that. I don't know. Thank you for those questions, Andrew Varney. Moving on now to Malingar, who asks, have you seen... you had to have seen this one coming. Skeletor comes across a papyrus, one of Papyrus's traps. What do they say to each other? I've caught you now, Skeletor. Damn you, P-Man! I mean Papyrus! There you go. What do you think would happen if the Doctor met Undertale cast, particularly Sans? I think he would be like, oh god, you're lazy. You're just lazy. That's just, you're lazy, man. I don't know why he sounds like one of the guys from the Rolling Stones, but whatever, moving on. Thank you for those questions, Malingar. Moving on now to George Poldio, who asks, what couple from the following cartoon or anime would Alphys just say, just fuck already? TK and Kari from Digimon, Star and Marco, Steven and Connie, or Arrow and Piper? I think out of all of them, since she's the big anime fan, she would say TK and Kari from Digimon. She would be, Alphys would be the one saying, oh, just fuck already. Probably then followed by Star and Marco. Just saying. No, I think she would even, speaking of Digimon, I think Alphys would just be completely pissed off at Sora, you know, leading on both, because she, you know it, I know it, that Sora leads on Matt and Ty. You know it, I know it, the whole cast knows it, the whole creative team knows it, so yeah, if anything, I think she'd be more frustrated at that, sure, she'd be like, pick one, you floozy! Anyway, so thank you for that question, George. Again, I'm sorry I mess up your name. I know I am, I'm sorry. So moving on now to Nicholas Harley, who asks, Team 4-Star Krillin plays Undertale. What happens next? Vegeta yells at him and he cries. The end. Lincoln and his sisters fall into the underground. What happens next? Luann and Sans have the best pun-off ever. Meanwhile, which one is it? The sports one hangs out with Undyne, and Lisa hangs out with Alphys. There you go. Anyway, sorry, I had to get something to drink. Third question. Is there a moment in the game that almost made you cry? A few times. Like when I accidentally killed Toriel one time. No, I wasn't like, it was supposed to be like, I was gonna hit spare, but then I actually, oh no! What did I do? Thank you for those questions, Nicholas. Moving on now to Bryce Diaz, who asks, what is your favorite ship? Favorite ship in the game? I would have to say, my favorite ship in the game would have to be Sans and Toriel. I just like them together. I really dig it, and there's been some cool fan art that got me into it. Also, of course, Alphys and Undyne. You can't go wrong with Alphys and Undyne. I also really ship that as well, and actually Papyrus and Mettaton. Yeah, I like the ship of Papyrus and Mettaton. Again, fan art got me into it, and I was like, yeah, this. And when you look back at it, you can kind of see some subtle hits here and there, very subtle. But yeah, those are my big three right there: Sans and Toriel, Alphys and Undyne, and Mettaton and Papyrus. Anyway, second question. Fuck, marry, kill, Alphys, Undyne, and Toriel. Marry Toriel, fuck Undyne, and kill Alphys, even though I have nothing against Alphys, but given the circumstances, I'd have to, yeah, I always have to pick one. Third question. What Pokemon do you think would everyone have? I don't know what kind of Pokemon they would have. Toriel would probably have some very cute, like, very motherly type Pokemon. Kind of see it. Actually, I kind of see her having a Kangaskhan, really. Papyrus and Mettaton would probably have, like, ghost type Pokemon. Like, I could see, when he gets that, when Sans gets his eye glowing, like, for Genocide, I could see, like a Haunter and a Gengar on his side. A lot of fighting type for Alphys. Not Alphys, Undyne. Alphys would probably have like a Magneton or, you know, like machine type Pokemon. I don't know about Asgore. Probably something like an Arcanine or something. I'm that old, people. I'm really only good with with the first 150. Anyway, I don't know about everyone else though. Flowey don't need no Pokemon. Actually, you know what Pokemon I could see Undyne with? I could see her walking around with a Houndoom. Yeah, I know. I remember some of the other of the next gen, but yeah. But yeah, Undyne would probably have a Houndoom and probably a Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. Anyway, so thank you for those questions. Bryce Diaz, moving on now to that guy with the tripod who asks, what would you do if you fell into the underground with no knowledge of the story? Probably shit my pants and thank God I survived a fall that high. Then, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. The Ghoul School students meet Undertale cast. What happens? They get accepted because monsters are always welcome there. Plus, I could definitely see Phantasma and Sans being BFFs. Who's your I already answered that one. But thank you for those questions, that guy with the tripod. Moving on now to Buddy Smith, who asks, which voice actors would you pick for the Undertale characters? I actually did a video on this. So, I can't remember all of them. I can't remember them all. But Kimberly Brook, who most of you guys would know best for playing Jasper in Steven Universe, I'd say her for Undyne. Yeah, for her for Undyne. The actor, I can't remember his name, but he's actually going to be in Justice League Action. And most of you guys know the voice actor best for General Scar in Evil Concarne and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I would get him for Papyrus. Sans, I can't remember who I had for Sans. Actually, I had Alex Hirsch an idea. Yeah, Alex Hirsch. Most guys know best is from Gravity Falls, and doing his Bill voice for Flowey. That's right, Alex Hirsch as Flowey. I also had for Azrael, his Azrael Dreamer, the King of Hyper Death kind of form. I would for him, it's Johnny. I always kind of envision Johnny Young Bosch. Most of you guys would know best as Adam from the second Black Power Ranger, or of course from Code the Lelouch Vivertania from Code Geass. I always envisioned him doing the voice of Azrael. Who else did I have? The voice actress for Peridot for Alphys. I actually had another idea, for Flowey. Richard Hovitz, most of you guys knows best as the voice of Zim. So, anyway. There you go. Second question. What minor characters do you like? I'd have to say Tuffet. Tuffet was kind of cool. She's kind of minor, really. Do you think what do you think of any of the AUs, Underswap, etc.? They're alright. I'm not really big... For some reason, I'm not really drawn into the AUs with Undertale as I am with other AUs, really, sadly. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Buddy Smith. Moving on now to Andre Partridge, who asks, Sans and Papyrus decide to hang out with Billy and Mandy, with Grim from Billy and Mandy. What happens? It's gonna be a bona fide adventure. Yep. Discord Flowey and Bill Cipher decide to party and get wasted at a local bar. What happens? Oh, I'll tell you what happened. There's a rip in the space-time continuum, and for some reason, everyone named Jeff is now turned into a chicken. Alright. What will happen if Toriel met up with the following characters? Maddie Fenton, Dexter's mom, Bunny Bravo, Rose Quartz, Marge Simpson, Lois Griffin, Queen Butterfly, and Mallory Archer. She'd probably look at Mallory and Lois and go, "You suck as mothers. The rest of you are cool. Let's go. Let's go be bad moms," or something. Anyway. So, thank you for those questions, Andre Partridge. Moving on now to Travis Rendon, who asks, if you were a monster living in Undertale, what kind of monster would you be and why? I don't know, something with scales, probably. Something that looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon, so... maybe not like Undyne, but something reptilian. Second question. Would you battle... what would your battle theme be, and what kind of genre of music would you like it to be? Probably heavy metal, and... I don't know what it would sound like. Third question. How do you feel about the pairing between Sans and Frisk? Some people shipping them together, since Sans is a little kid, and... oh, wait, yeah, Frisk is a little kid, and Sans... I never got that, really. This is, I never got that, because, yeah, Frisk is really a kid, and Sans is technically an adult. I don't bash ships, but I never got that. Like I said, I really do prefer Toriel and Sans together, honestly. Anyway, so moving right along to... thank you for those questions, Travis Rendon. Moving on now to Jackie Lee, who asks, I'm sorry that I don't know... I'm sorry that you don't know Lucas from Mother 3, from the other three, besides... Oh, yeah. What would happen if Lucas met Frisk? I don't know, because, again, I don't know much about Lucas, sadly. Second question, who do you think would win in a contest being the most fabulous? Mettaton, Marth, Vega, or Dio? Mettaton, no question about it. Third question, which Undertale character would be fit as a playable assist or boss character in Super Smash Bros.? Hands down, Sans. Definitely Sans. Like, when you think Undertale, he's one of the first characters you think of, and plus, could you just imagine all the attacks and abilities you could use? That would be awesome. You know, Sans just makes sense for a Super Smash Bros. Character. He's very powerful. You know, I would imagine he's very quick, and of course, you could do so many cool attacks with him. Assist characters, I would say Frisk for assist character, and maybe Photoshop Flowey as a boss character. So, thinking of those questions, Jackie Lee. Moving on now to John De La Wild. Hope I'm saying that name right. Who asks, has the thought of an OC crossed your mind, and if so, who would it be? I haven't really thought one for for Undertale. Third question, Undyne is a sexy fish. True or false? True. Are you planning on, or have you already planned on having a bad time? I'd rather not have a bad time. Alright, so moving on, thank you for those questions, John. Moving on now to May Sun, who asks, what would happen if Papyrus met Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas? Wowee! I have a brother-in-law! Yeah. Second question, what would happen if Mettaton met Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show or Sardonyx from Steven Universe? Dramatic pose, everyone! Like, yeah, there's a part of me that's always had this idea of having Mettaton and Papyrus just watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, that would, you admit it, yeah, that would be one of Mettaton's favorite films. Third question, San meets Garfield the cat, what happens? They try to have a lazy-off match. Alright. Thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Melina Khan, who asks, Mettaton or Alphys? I don't know what that means by that, but I guess... Mettaton? I don't know. Alright. Moving on now to Burnout or 7, who asks, would Sans team up with Danny Phantom? Yeah. Yeah, he would. But yeah, Sans would be like, oh, you need my help? Hang on. Let me get the energy for it. Already answered the voice actors thing. Sans hangs out with Dipper and Mabel. What happens? Again, he'd probably just have fun with Mabel, and Dipper would just be just getting frustrated with how lack of effort he has. How much lack of effort he has in him. So thank you for those questions, Burnouter. Moving on now to Manuel Cabriza, who asks, what AU have you heard or interested in? I've heard several. There's an interesting one with Sans as Death and Toriel as Life. It's a fan comic where he's the Reaper. It's strange, but at the same time it's fun. Second question, what Undertale character is the most in party? Oh, I guess who's the life of the party? I guess Mettaton would probably fit that description. Third question, favorite I already answered that one. So moving on now to Major Badass also asks, who's your favorite character? I already answered that. Which franchise do you think, or would personally like to see crossover with Undertale? What show would I think would be fun with Undertale? That is a tough one. That's a bit of a toughie there. I would have to say, perhaps, Gravity Falls is a given. And that's the one I see a lot of, and it makes sense too. But yeah, yeah, probably Gravity Falls. Third question: did you cry at any point? I already answered that one. So thank you for those questions, Major Badass. Moving on now to Silver Clawed Wolf, who asks, if Undyne wasn't into anime, what do you think she'd be into? Like you said, probably wrestling and also UFC fighting. What headcanons do you accept? I really don't have any major headcanons for Undertale, sadly, so, yeah. Thank you for those questions, Silverclawed Wolf. Moving on now to Ugly Media 2, who asks, Someone said, what if Undertale characters met the students of Ghoul School, but what if they were actually teachers at the Ghoul School? Oh, I guess Undyne would be teaching like a defense against the dark arts, while Papyrus would be teaching them traps 101. I have to do the laugh to get the Papyrus voice going. Yeah, Undyne and Papyrus would probably be teaching defenses. I don't know what everyone else would be teaching. Well, obviously, Alphys would be teaching science, but yeah. Alright, second question. Undertale characters meet the Stormhawks. Finn and Sans. Yeah, I don't even want to imagine that. Piper and Alphys doing science stuff would be fun, and Arrow sparring with Undyne would be awesome. Third question. What would Undertale monsters have for Autobot partners? I really don't know for that one. I guess Optimus and Asgore? And maybe Prowl and Undyne. That's really all I can... And Wheeljack and Alphys. There you go. That's all I can think of. One of None asks, would you date Toriel? Yeah, probably. Mega Flowey or Asriel, which is your favorite fight? Asriel. Who would you live with? Tori or the Skeletons? Probably the Skeletons. I'd have more fun there. So thank you for those questions. One of None. Moving on now to Alistair Boneman, who asks, on an evil scale, how evil is Chara, or whatever she's called? I'd say 8 on the evil scale. All right. Second question. Who do you think? Who do you think so many people, even if trying to do good, end up insisting on killing Toriel, aka Goat Mom, and they insisted in doing so? Oh, I accidentally killed Goat Mom in one of my pacifist runs. It sucked, really sucked. Are you filled with determination and hungry? And I'm feeling very hungry than I am determined. I'm determined to stop the hunger, if that's what you mean. All right. Moving on. So thank you for those questions, thank you for those questions, Alistair. Moving on now to Six-Pack Beerus, who asks, could you hang out with anyone in Undertale? Who would it be and why? Probably hang out with Sans and we'd just be lazy all day. That's probably what would happen. Second question. Is there any characters that you would like to see cross over with Undertale? I already answered that one. Papyrus, Skeletor, and Lord Hater get into a rap battle. Who would win and how would everyone react to it? I'm not doing the voice for all... and I can't rap, so I would say Papyrus? No, Lord Hater, because he already knows how to sing. But it's hard rock, but I think he can get the best of it. So there you go, Lord Hater. Thank you for those questions, Six-Pack. Moving on now to Wolfman the Impaler, who asks, Team What the Fuck, Abridged Nappa, Triceratops, Strax, and Peridot are looking for a 5th member. Which of the Undertale gang would make the cut? Probably Burger Pants or Nice Cream Man, because they need an optimistic person there. Alright, second question. Sans and Papyrus discover Tumblr. What happens? I don't do that to my brother! No! No! Yeah, if you've ever seen Underswap, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Alright, third question. Toriel finds fan art of her online. How does Goat Milf react? Well, I think she would be honestly flattered, because I don't think everyone would be like, oh my, that's what people think of me? It's just, I'm disgusted, but intrigued. Alright, thank you for those questions, Wolfman the Impaler. Moving on now to Shockwave Spider, who asks, will you do a review of the Undertale game itself when you complete... I'm not a good game reviewer, so probably not. Do you honestly think that Frisk and Chara are the same character? Yeah, it's kind of obvious sometimes. Third question. If got a shot at being cast as someone in the character... Oh, already answered this one. So thank you, that was the question. Shockwave Spider, moving on now to Undertale prequel, how would you do it? Maybe the story, maybe you play as Asriel, and it talks about what happened between the monsters and humans, and you play as Asriel, and you go about through the game as playing as him. You play as a monster instead of human. What is your favorite moment in the game? Probably when you first play against Sans, or Maybe when you're trying to hook up... one of my personal favorites is when you're trying to hook up Alphys and Undyne. Because it's such... It's so dumb, but at the same time it's so much fun. And because, yeah, they're both vastly different personalities, but it's so adorable. What is your favorite music in the game? Sans' theme, Mettaton's theme, Asriel's theme, to name a few. Alright, thank you for those questions, Jerkwater100. Moving on now to Dodge Booty Hunter, who asks, what is your favorite version of Frisk Chara like? I've always kind of envisioned it was a girl. Because that's how it usually is for most people. Because, yeah, it does look like a girl, so, yeah. Second question, have you had the misfortune of encountering the too shit section of the fandom, or... Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, I haven't gone that far down the rabbit hole, and I try to keep it that way. Third question, did you see any of the Jasper Tale jokes art going on after Super Watermelon Island? Yeah, I did, actually, and I thought that was pretty funny. Because if you guys don't know what he's talking about, there was a point after Super Watermelon Island, and we had that big hiatus. There was the story of Jasper after she fell into the earth. A lot of people just kind of put the headcanon of Jasper fell into the underground, and it became an unofficial Undertale crossover for the fandom. And just imagine, Jasper in the underground. Just let that image sink in for a moment. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's all the questions. Once again, I want to thank everyone who sent in questions. This was a lot of fun. I'm actually really glad how well this Q&A turned out. There was a lot of unique questions in here, and I had a lot of fun with this. And yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. And I'm sorry for if I did not answer someone's question, that usually means someone... Yeah, I mean, not someone. That means YouTube either marked it as spam or didn't show, but also, if I didn't answer someone's question, that's usually the case. But once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.